After saying no to letting my neighbor's daughter borrow my bike, I found it at the bottom of a nearby creek, bent and rusted. The girl looked at me and said quietly, "She said you wouldn't miss it if it was broken." I confronted the mother. She just smiled. Sometimes kids learn by watching adults lose. But when I retrieved the bike, I found something taped beneath the seat that I'm a 47-year-old guy living alone in a quiet little town called Milton, Pennsylvania. Population barely scrapes 7,000. The kind of place where people wave when they don't mean it, gossip spreads faster than the flu, and nobody minds their own business. I moved here after my divorce. Didn't want to rent, didn't want to be around anyone who knew my ex found a beat-up house on the edge of town. Needed work, but I had time. And I liked having space. No one over my shoulder. No shared walls. Just me and whatever I wanted to fix that week. I spent most of my time working on my house or in the garage. Old tools, old parts, and old things I didn't want to throw away. One of those things was a 1987 Schwinn Cruiser I bought off some guy at a yard sale. It was a wreck, rusted out, flat tires, chain half snapped. I spent 6 months fixing it up. I didn't rush it. I took it slow, cleaning every part, painting the frame, replacing the cables. That bike meant something to me. It wasn't just a project. It was therapy. I rode it every Saturday. Sometimes Sundays too. There's a trail by the old train tracks and a farmer's market near the river. People would nod, smile, some would ask about the bike. I was proud of it. Still am, even now. Then the Mercers moved in. Single mom, 10-year-old daughter, and some rat-sized dog that never shut up. Their house had been empty for a while. When I saw a U-Haul out front, I thought, well, there goes the piece. Cynthia Mercer was the type you know right away. High maintenance, always on her phone, expensive car she didn't know how to park straight. Looked down at people even when she smiled. Her daughter, Kylie, was worse. Loud, demanding, full of that "I always get what I want" attitude. I tried to be neighborly at first. I waved. She didn't wave back. One time, she locked herself out, and I helped her get back in through a window. No thank you, just a nod. That's how she was. Kylie was outside all the time. Screaming. Jumping into my flower beds to get a ball. Staring into my garage like she was shopping. One afternoon, I was out front cleaning the Schwinn. I had it leaning against the porch rail while I worked on the brake cable. Kylie walked over, chewing some kind of red candy that stained her mouth. "I want to ride your bike." Not even a question. More like a demand. I didn't even look up. "Sorry, it's not for riding. It's a bike. Bikes are for riding. It's old. I fixed it up. It's not a toy." "I'll be careful." I stood up. "No." She crossed her arms and made this whining noise, like I'd just taken away Christmas. I didn't say another word. I turned and went back to my tools. She stomped back to her house, muttering something. That should have been the end of it. A few days later, I went out to my garage. The Schwinn was gone. I thought maybe I moved it and forgot. Checked the porch. The shed. The yard. Nothing. Then I checked the garage cameras. Nothing recorded. I forgot to reset the batteries the week before. Great timing. I filed a report with the cops. They said they'd keep an eye out. That means nothing in this town. We have one squad car and a part-time dispatcher. I started asking around. No one saw anything. I drove through a few nearby neighborhoods thinking maybe it turned up. Nothing. 2 days later, I was walking near the creek behind my house. It's shallow, but wide, with stones and mud and trash kids throw in. I spotted something shiny sticking out of the water. It was red. My stomach dropped. I climbed down the rocks. There it was, my Schwinn. Bent. Rusted. Half buried in the mud. Front wheel twisted. Handlebar snapped. Waterlogged seat. It looked like it had been shoved off the bridge on purpose. I stood there stunned. I pulled it out, water dripping everywhere. I didn't hear the footsteps until I turned around. Kylie was standing there, just watching me. You did this? I asked. She didn't say anything. I stepped closer. Did you throw my bike in the creek? She looked down, then back at me. She said you wouldn't miss it if it was broken. I stopped breathing for a second. Who said that? Kylie turned and walked away. I carried the bike home. Every part of me was shaking. Not just anger, disbelief. I told her no. That's it. And her mother decided that meant she could destroy something that mattered to me? I stormed over to their house and knocked. Cynthia answered, dressed like she was headed to a PTA meeting. Sunglasses, lip gloss, fake smile. Can I help you? She asked like I was a door-to-door salesman. Your daughter stole my bike and dumped it in the creek. She tilted her head. That's quite the accusation. She told me you said I wouldn't miss it if it was broken. She just smiled. Sometimes kids learn by watching adults lose. I couldn't believe it. She was proud of it. She wanted me to be mad. I walked away. I knew if I stayed, I'd say something I couldn't take back. That night, I took the ruined bike into my garage. Started taking it apart, piece by piece, seeing what I could save. Maybe I could use the bell. Maybe the pedals. Probably not much else. Then I saw something under the seat. Something taped there. A small, black voice recorder wrapped in a plastic sandwich bag. My hand froze. I'd completely forgotten about it. I'd put it there months ago when I was recording nature sounds on my rides. I must have left it on. I took it inside and hit play. Wind. My breathing. Birds. Nothing at first. Then voices. You can take it, just bring it back before he sees. Kylie's voice. But what if he says something? Then Cynthia. Say you found it like that. He's just a grumpy man. He'll get over it. Sometimes they need to learn they don't own everything. My hands were cold. My neck stiff. I listened again. Slower. Clear as day. She told her daughter to take it. She expected me to notice. She told her to lie. I sat there for a long time. Then I smiled. She wanted me to lose? Fine. Let's play. That night I didn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice over and over again in my head. Sometimes they need to learn they don't own everything. I wasn't mad anymore. I was focused. The next morning, I made copies of the recording. Sent one to my email. Burned another to a thumb drive. Made a third on an old CD. I wasn't gonna lose this to some technical glitch. I wanted it safe. I knew just going to the cops wouldn't do much. They'd probably say it was a domestic matter or that it's just a misunderstanding. No real damage they'd do anything about. Maybe a lecture. Maybe nothing at all. So I decided to start somewhere else. Cynthia worked for a local real estate office called Hartley and Green Realty. Small firm, but decent business. Her face was on signs all over town. Your friendly neighborhood agent, with that fake grin plastered across it. I waited a few days. Made sure she didn't know I was up to anything. Then I sent the recording, anonymously, to her broker. Didn't say anything else. No threats. Just the audio file and a simple message. Thought you'd want to know how your agents represent your business. 3 days later, her sign was gone from the front lawn. The same one she always left up, even when she wasn't selling anything. Just for show. Gone. I knew what that meant. I confirmed it through a friend who used to date one of the other agents. She'd been let go. Quietly, no scene. But she wasn't working there anymore. That was step one. But I wasn't done. Next, I started hitting her where it would hurt more, her image. Her reputation. I knew how this town worked. People don't care about the truth as much as they care about stories. So I gave them one. I created a fake email address and started posting anonymous tips on local Facebook groups, especially the ones about town news and Bad business alerts. I posted a transcript of what Cynthia said on the recorder. I didn't use her name at first. Just called her a local agent. The posts blew up. People started guessing. It didn't take long for someone to put the pieces together. Someone else commented, "That sounds like Cynthia Mercer. Her kid's a little nightmare. She once tore up my tulips," and the mom just laughed. And from there, it spread. Her name came up in PTA meetings. Her kids started getting left out of birthday invites. I heard from a neighbor that someone called CPS anonymously after seeing Kylie crying on the porch one afternoon. Don't know what happened with that. But Cynthia wasn't smiling so much anymore. Then she came to my door. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was in the garage cleaning rust off an old socket wrench when I heard knocking. Not soft. Not polite. I opened the door. There she was. No sunglasses. No smile. "You think this is funny?" she snapped. I wiped my hands on a rag. "Something wrong?" "You're spreading lies about me." I didn't say anything. Just looked at her. "I lost 2 listings." "2? Do you have any idea what you've done?" Now I smiled. "Just a little." "No lies. Just your own voice." Her face twisted. "You think you're smart? You think this makes you better than me?" "No," I said. "I think it makes me even." She stared at me for a long second, breathing heavy through her nose. Then she said something that stuck with me. "You have no idea what I'm capable of." And just like that, she walked away. That should have scared me. Instead, it made me careful. I put up 2 more cameras, one pointed at the porch, one at the backyard. I set motion alerts on my phone. I even installed a trail cam near the edge of the woods by the creek, just in case. Days passed. Then weeks. I didn't hear much from her. The tension died down. But I knew better. People like her don't go quiet without a reason. Then I got a letter from the county. Someone had filed a complaint about the condition of my property. Claimed I had abandoned vehicles, rusted machinery, and potential code violations. I knew exactly who sent it. I had one old car in the driveway, covered, registered, and completely legal. My tools were in the garage. The lawn was cut. Still, they sent out an inspector. He apologized to me. Said it was clearly nonsense. But he had to write up the visit. 2 days later, I got another letter, zoning request. Someone wanted the empty lot next to mine, which nobody had touched in years, to be rezoned for a community parking lot. You guessed it. Cynthia had submitted the request through a neighborhood initiative she made up. Signed it with fake names. Tried to push it through without me knowing. She wanted to ruin my peace. So I stopped playing defense. And I decided to hit back harder. I decided to end this. No more waiting around. No more passive attacks or subtle jabs. I was going to make sure Cynthia felt everything she made me feel. Worse. First thing I did was talk to my cousin, Ray. He's not from around here, but he works in private security out in Pittsburgh. I told him everything. He laughed at first, but once I played the recording and showed him the zoning complaint, he got real quiet. "You want this clean or messy?" he asked. "Clean," I said. "But I want her buried." Ray gave me some tools. Digital stuff. How to find public records, how to trace connections between names, emails, property filings. He gave me a crash course in how people hide things when they think they're smarter than everyone else. So I started digging. I found out Cynthia was already in trouble financially. Her house? She didn't own it. Her sister did, and Cynthia was just living there under a temporary housing agreement. But here's the kicker, that zoning request? The fake neighborhood initiative? She used her sister's name on the documents without telling her. I printed everything. All of it. Then I mailed it to her sister. Certified, signed receipt. No return address. Less than a week later, her sister showed up at the house. Parked in the driveway and stayed there for hours. Voices yelling. Doors slamming. Kylie sitting outside on the porch, hugging her knees, watching her mom and aunt scream inside. That night, I saw Cynthia loading boxes into her car. 2 days later, the house had a "For sale by owner" sign on the lawn. I thought that was it. But she wasn't done. Not yet. That weekend, I went into town to get a coffee and saw someone had scratched up my truck. Deep, angry lines on both doors. A word, too. Trash. Real clever. What she didn't know. One of the new cameras I put up caught everything. Her. Middle of the night. Hoodie. Spray can. Keys in hand. Clear as day. I made copies. Sent them to the police. Sent them to her sister. And I sent one to her old real estate office just for good measure. No message. Just the video clip. 3 days later, I got a call from a local detective. They were pressing charges. Criminal mischief. Property damage. Harassment. She'd have to pay for the damage or go to court. She chose court. She thought she could lie her way through it. She didn't know I had more than just video. I had the voice recording. The zoning documents. The name tracing. I had her pattern of behavior. When it all came out, the judge asked her why she kept provoking me, filing false complaints, and damaging my property. You know what she said? I just wanted him to feel what it's like to be beneath someone. That was her defense. She got hit with fines. Community service. Restraining order. But the best part? Her sister kicked her out. Sold the house within a month. Cynthia had nowhere to go. Word was, she moved in with a friend 3 towns over. Kylie had to switch schools again. I don't know where they are now. But I do know this. I kept the damaged Schwinn. Didn't fix it. Didn't toss it either. Hung it on my garage wall, frame bent, rusted chains still there. A reminder. Sometimes people think they can take whatever they want. Sometimes they think kindness is weakness. That being quiet means you won't fight back. They're wrong. Oh, and as for me? I got my peace back. But yeah, I'll admit something. There were moments I enjoyed watching her fall a little too much. I didn't have to go that far. I could have stopped sooner. But I didn't. I wanted her to hurt. Maybe that makes me petty. Maybe that makes me know better. But it's the truth. And I can live with that. She said sometimes kids learn by watching adults lose. Well, her daughter got a front row seat. And she learned what it looks like when someone decides not to lose quietly. Not ever again.